This is the video for Roadplay data. I have already started the trail and I advanced it to the second playlist. Here, playlist 2. And here we see it's starting to move the segments into Pat-L list. Already moved 3 of them, but I want all 4 of them to move, so I'm going to advance 9. Alright, there we see the 4th one being moved. So now I could go to Data, Work List, and go to the Pat-L list. Here are those 4 values now in the Pat-L list. We then look at the program and we see that it took the Pat-L list and made it into a pattern. So now the values are built into patterns. So let's return here, and it's a pattern is another work list. So we'll click on pattern. Here it says there is a pattern with 64 values in it. Patterns have relative values in them. That is, this first position is X500, Y500. The second one, X500, Y480. These are only relative positions. These are not actual positions where it's going to put something on the screen. That has to be done by the dots option. Well, let's go back to the program. We'll return from here. We'll turn data off. And we'll advance another 9. Now we see it got here, took the pattern and made a dots list out of it. Now that can be shown on the screen. It sets the quill to 3. That's how wide the line is going to be. And then it says make the line. So here we see it made the line. And it made it out of those 4 segments from the Pat-L list. So we go on down here. We see it's going to start to build play data. This is where it's going to move the letters FAST into the play data. What we want to do is go to it's moved all 4 letters. So we're going to advance 9 until it goes around the loop the 4 times, once for each letter. Alright, now it's going around the 4 times. Now we can go to data, and we're going to go to that play data. Alright, here's play data. Here is the data that it put into play data. What we got to realize that it added 3,000 to each value that indicates what it's to put in there. A picture, a given pattern, an app pattern. Well, 3,000 was added to it. That means it's a given pattern. So we take the 3,000 away. It's a 70. ASCII F. Here's 65, ASCII A. Then the next 5, 83, ASCII S. And then 84, ASCII T. Those are the 4 letters. Well, it's moving them into play data 5 at a time. These other values it moved in there tell it exactly how to display the letter F, A, S, and T. Well, we'll return here, and we'll go over, take off data, and we'll advance another 9. Well, no, wait, we won't, because look, here is where it takes the dots list and makes it into a road and puts it into value. So we're not going to advance. We're going to now go and look and see what it put in value. So go back up to data here. a work list, and it's the work list called value. So we'll click on value. Here we see it built the XY positions for a road. It took the dots list that it had, and it was told, give me points that are 30 pixels apart. It says the first point is X650, Y100. There are two values in the value list for each point. 646X, 71Y. 626X, 49Y. These are actual X values and Y values, and a separate value in the value list for each one. Now the road action put these values in the value list. It also told us how many there are, M. The value in M is how many there are. So let's return back to the first screen of data. Make sure that we're on subprogram 7. So these subregisters and local registers are those for the subprogram we're in, and here we see we're in 7. So the value of M is 29. So there are 29 pairs of values in there. Well, we're going to watch it calculate the value of N. So we're going to leave the data. We're going to advance 9 more. At this point, it has made N twice the value of M, and it's moved the beginning of value to the end of value. Since N is now twice, and there's an X and a Y, if there's 29, the value of N should be 58. Let's go to data and see if it is now at 58. Yes, there it is at 58. We no longer have the correct value in M anymore because it multiplied it by 3. It's now 87. But there's 58 values in the value list. So what we can do is go back to the value list. It has moved the beginning of the list to the end of the list. Well, let me see if I can figure out where the end of the list is. And here it is, 674.94. And immediately after that is 650.100. Well, if we look up here, that was the beginning of the list. Put the beginning of the list at the end of the list down here. Now the reason it did that is because when it comes to putting the F at the very last position, the A needs to go to where? It needs to go to the first position. But it doesn't realize that the list has run out. So that's why it can do the F here, then it'll do the A at 650.100, which is the first position, and then the S and T after that, and it won't have to know that it was supposed to wrap around to the beginning again. Alright, that's that part of it. We can turn the data off. What else do we see over here? Well, this is the one where it slows it down by multiplying M by 3, asking what the tick value is, and then dividing it back by 3. And then notice here that that value has to be multiplied by 2, because it's going to be used for the offset in value of where the letters are to be positioned. And since they're to be positioned at X, Y's, and there's pairs, it had to be multiplied by 2. And here is the play operation, or say the play action, and it's given the play data the value list of X and Y's, and it knows it's going to do 4 things: the F, A, S, and the T. Well, that's the end of the video for Roadplay data.